Hello, this is Unlucky Train 2.0, and I'm going to be re-ranking the Thomas films. Now, if you guys are OG subscribers to the channel, you guys wouldn't know what happened to the old Thomas ranking video. So, yeah. I'm going to be laying down some rules because in the old video, I did not lay down any rules. All I did was just get straight to the point. So, I'm going to lay down some rules. I'm not going to be ranking those Bubba specials due to how stupid they are and how should I put this? How the CGI looks terrible on it. So I'm not going to be ranking those. Cry about it. Now, I like to make a full disclaimer about one other thing. These are just my opinions. If you guys want to bring out your opinions, put it in the comments. Okay? If you guys disagree on the movie I like, then that's just your opinion. I really don't care either way. So let's get started with the worst of the worst, shall we?
I'm tired of pushing coaches. I want to see the world.
There is seriously nothing that I need to say about this movie. I already expressed how much I hated and the Bubba series entirely, plus All Engines Go. So check out the video if you can. But seriously though, this movie is just terrible. The CGI, off-brand Lightning McQueen, and the engine that will soon replace one of my favorite characters. I mean, no. I'm sorry. Just, no. The scenery looks garbage. The music is not even good. I'm sorry. And not to mention that deleted scene. I'm sorry. It's just that this is a terrible movie. And I already said everything I need to say about it in the reasons why it sucked video. I'm sorry. I just hate it. And I don't think... Listen, there's probably a way it could be fixed. Unlucky Tug did a way on how it could be fixed. But on my opinion, I'm sorry. It's just... Mattel really sucked when it comes to this film. Andrew Brenner did his best he could with the writing script. But it wasn't enough to save this movie. I really am sorry for this to all you Boba fans and lovers. This movie is just garbage. I hate it. It's just... I can't believe I actually watched this. I'm sorry. This is not Thomas the Tank Engine. This, if anything, it just got Will Dodger rolling in his grave even more. This movie's just garbage. I hate it. And to you guys, it may not be the worst, but... I mean, come on. You guys tell me that this is not more worse. You kidding me? Anyways, I said all I gotta say. On to the next one. It's just... I hate it.
Oh, I know. Going to Misty Island?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Okay, shut up, I get it. I understand most you Thomas fans want to put this at the bottom. But to me, Bubba is more terrible than this. So... I had enough discussion about Bubba. Let's just get on to Misty Island. Misty Island Rescue is not that terrible than Bubba. To me, I find it a tiny bit better. The first reason why I say it is because of the opening. Because, let's be honest, that opening looks very creative. Like, let's be real. Let's just calm down a moment and appreciate how artistic the opening of that movie is. Like, come on. Another reason why I say that is because one song from this movie is not that bad. Maybe I say it because of nostalgia. I don't know. But that song is really not that bad if you take a moment and just actually listen to it. The third reason is because of its sets that came with the movie. Crap, why didn't I write a script for that part? The sets that was... The point is, the toy merchandise wasn't that bad like it was with Bubba. Let's be honest. Because you know them sets are fire. You know they are fire. Another fourth reason is because of Bash, Dash, and Ferdinand. They have potential, sure. But let's be real. They're more entertaining than Nia. At least to me. I mean, sure, the concept of an underwater tunnel is not the most realistic thing, but let's be honest right now. You guys seen Bubba. You know which one at least has a little bit of more realism in there, right? Yeah, I think you do. Sharon Miller's writing is still degrading. The rhyming is still terrible. But there is some good scenes in there. Excuse me, I have a hiccup. There are some good scenes in there, like the opening shot with Harold. To me, the chase with Thomas and Diesel was pretty fun to watch. That scene where... No, I think I'm going to play the scene. Just for the fun of it, you know what I mean, right? Yeah, you guys are going to see the scene.
With happiness, the Fat Controller jumped for joy in James's cab.
Thomas!
The Fat Controller's hat flew high in the air and into the mist. Thomas was worried.
Sir, your hat!
But the Fat Controller beamed.
Don't worry, I can find another hat. But I'll never find another Thomas.
Now, you cannot tell me that he loves his engines with all his heart. I mean, come on. That scene just proves it all. But yeah, Misty Island Rescue is better than Boba. Bite me.
That's crazy!
I mean, come on. You know that this film had a lot of racism in it. I mean, come on. The ending, none of them actively wanted to help. I mean... Let's be honest, you know, this is easily better than Bubba and Misty Island Rescue. No debate. This is easily better than Bubba and Misty Island Rescue. I gotta get it for people's head, and I'm gonna do it right now. First of all, I like how Diesel 10 was presented back. Nothing beats the Thomas and the Magic Railroad take on Diesel 10, but I like the concept. But I like the concept on how he is portrayed. He is more, how should I put this, schemy and persuasive with his words on what he wants from Percy. Another thing, I like how Percy's the main protagonist, even though he was not focused in the marketing. Hit era, really loved Thomas for some reason. Trying to think of another word. The Steamworks, taking over the Steamworks concept really isn't that bad, even though they did not know what to do with it after. They seem to just goof around in it for some reason. Yeah, that scene where they chase towards the Steamworks to handle the conflict. Off-brand beat it moment. What else do I have? Oh yeah, the Day of the Diesel song is a banger. That song slaps. It's a certified banger, actually. I think that's all I have to say for really. Oh, also it introduced us to Paxton, Norman, Sydney, Den, Dot. Yeah, I like those diesels. Those diesels are cool. But my question is, why is Thomas racist in the two films that I just stated? Like, dang, Thomas, I didn't know you were dieselist. Racist. No, I really did not know how to say a word for the diesel word for racism. I really don't know. The point is, Thomas has been on the dark side of the internet. Okay, she's my cringe laugh. Let's go on to the next one.
Calling all engines! Calling all engines!
See, this is the OG Day of the Diesels. This is the superior version of Day of the Diesels. This is the perfect representation of racism. Wait. First of all, let's get the elements out of the way. Let me start with the negative stuff. First thing, why is it called calling all engines if it doesn't have all the engines? I mean, come on. Second, so is Lady like a narrow gauge engine now? You know, like, the thing that matters is that she's not canon. I'm trying to think of something else. The learning sections suck. That's all I gotta say. The learning sections suck. No debate on that. Trying to think of some other things. Oh yeah, the positive stuff. First of all, I like how Diesel 10 was introduced back. Sure, he's just a big bully Diesel that came out of nowhere, but hey, we get to see some more of that claw action. And I like how the Diesel and Steam racism allegory was handled. It's not dull like dated Diesels where they were just forced under the top of hats to do it. No, they actually decided to work together on fixing the airport for the visitors to go on Sodor. Second, I like the model bridge crash. That looks cool. And the dream sequences aren't really that bad, to be honest with you. Just, if you look deeper into the situation, you understand why. But, yeah, that's all I gotta say. The learning sections really did drag the film. And if someone, idea for a Thomas fan project, edit up the learning sequences in the Thomas movie. Do it. Anyways, on to the next one.
It's so hot.
I can hear the online pitchforks, I can hear the online torches and online pitchforks right now. Now, the reason why I put this in 10th place is because I really don't see it as, a good film that much. I mean, at least it's not on the same par as Calling All Engines, Day of the Diesels, those films. It actually has good songs that are on par with The Great Race. It has a very cohesive plot, a jailbreak theme movie, and I like it for that. But let's be honest, the ending blows, and the body movement is visual cancer, even though I'm used to it by now. It's just, this film is not all that good to me. I'm sorry. It's just, why? There is some other stuff about the film that I feel like I'm going to get attacked by the fandom. And I'm still going to say the stuff. One of the biggest problems with the film, at least for me, is, how should I put this? How people see it as the season finale for Thomas the Tank Engine. I don't see it as that. Sure, we get to see all the engines together in the shed singing a big final number. But let's be honest, this is not the season finale of Thomas the Tank Engine. And it doesn't even feel like it. Number 2, this movie really blows with, how should I put this? The experimental handicap engines thing. I don't like them. Not specifically because they're experimental. It's because they are too quirky for me to handle, just... It's like Mattel tells them to go up to 190. Just, no. Another thing I have problem with is Frankie. I know she's the villain, but, I hate her. Especially her crying at the end of the film because that crappy excuse. No, you need to get arrested for your actions, woman. It's like the same equivalent to shooting someone in the head and then the police tries to arrest you and you try crying your way out and not getting arrested. But the good thing is, there's some good things about the film. Number 1 is easily James. He is easily the best character in the film. And he is the funniest. He breaks the fourth wall. He has his best... Most of his best moments was from that film. I'm trying to think of some other stuff. Like I said, the music is good. My favorite song is the song by Thomas Wanted to Go Home. I love it. Why wasn't Duck in the scene with all the characters in that song? The third thing I like is the prison break stuff. The prison break, I just love it. That's basically all the positive stuff I had to say about this film. I better go now before the fandom pulls out their pitchforks and try and hunt me down for putting this movie in 10th place.
Hey! Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle! Ass!
Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle.
Please hear me out on this. Please hear me out on this. I know this fandom is gonna get mad for me putting Journey Beyond Sodor at the bottom and put Magic Railroad on top, but I kind of like this, and this is one of the films I'm gonna say nostalgia won, because I'm gonna be real with you, this movie isn't all that bad. If you just take out Shining Time and the magic element, the movie wouldn't be that bad, to be honest. I like the model stuff, especially Diesel 10, because, like I said, the claw is good. And I like to mention Diesel 10 in this film. He is chaotic. And when I mean chaotic, he was literally about to throw Alec Baldwin off a bridge in that scene. And reminder, this is a kid's film. I like to mention the actors. The girl from Matilda, the guy who's trying to be Scottish for some reason, Alec Baldwin, and Peter I can't say the last name. I just gotta say, Peter Fonda did not do good with his performance in the film. The Scottish cousin was actually one of the few actors I could say did good. Alec Baldwin was funny in this film. I'm gonna give him that. He was funny in this film. And the girl from Matilda is just the girl from Matilda. The bad stuff. I would say the bad stuff is easily the magic element, because Thomas was supposed to be set in a real life set world. One way or another, we like to transfer their faces and the stories, of course, but we like them for the realistic world that is there. The reason why we're still drawn to the world is because of Sodor. Sodor feels like a real place, and I'm gonna be one of the few people who might sound stupid, but I actually thought it was real when I was little. But now looking back at this film and seeing that the magic element ruins the whole purpose, really hurts, you know? This film is a maybe for me. It's like, one day I'll find it a little bit enjoyable, and the next day I'll just find it annoying. This is like the same equivalent to Shark Tale. It's so bad it's kind of funny status, if you think about it. Because this film is not on the same par as well, but Misty Island Rescue, Day of the Diesels, because those three films feel like no one cares. No one wants to actively make this film. But that's not the case here. Brett Allcroft had a passionate choice making this film, and you could see the passion in there. No matter how stupid it looks, you're gonna admit the passion is shown for the film. And let's be real, Lady isn't really a bad character. She doesn't have that much screen time, but the time that we do get to see with her really isn't that bad, to be honest. So this is why I put Magic Railroad in 9th place. The model scenes look perfect. The really useful engine, the score in general is just good. That's all I gotta say. The score in general is really catchy. Diesel 10 is a real threatening villain. And yeah, I think that's all I gotta say, except for the bad. Well, I already said the bad stuff, so I'm not gonna repeat that. But Magic Railroad is not that bad to me. And that's probably nostalgia talking, but hey, only time will tell, right? Every song in this movie is a bop. Every song is musical and catchy. I mean, I'll get to the songs later, but let's start with the important stuff. The characters. Thomas is just acting how he was in Dream On, and I did not like that at all. Another thing, Ashima had potential. She could have been, how should I put this? She could have been fleshed out more like, I don't know, Gator, for example. But hey, it's too late now, and they blew their chance of Big World Big Adventures on giving her a character, so yeah. I did not get the Diesel sub arc, but his song was a banger, at least to me. What else? The bridge jump is stupid. I despise that bridge jump, to be honest. But the set was pretty cool, though. I'll admit that the set was cool. But I'm trying to think of some more stuff that I had to say about this film. Oh yeah, the songs. Streamlining is not the best song in my opinion, but Will You Won't You is, to me, the best song in the entire film. I love that song. Streamlining is not a terrible song. It sure is catchy, but not a terrible song. I think that's all I gotta say for this movie, sadly. It had potential to be something great, but it had to be, how should I put this, forced due to Mattel. Yeah, I'm gonna stop this part of the movie ranking list because it's clear to me that I don't have any more to say about The Great Race. On to number 7. Oh yeah, and Scotsman's being introduced back into the franchise. Yeah, I found it neat, but I don't like how they designed him. Now on to number 7. This movie right here is a perfect introduction to the nitrogen era of Thomas the Tank Engine. This movie is enjoyable, and I see it as been getting a lot of love lately, and I'm one of the people who agrees. Then you might be thinking, why did you put this in number 7 place? Simple. Because in my opinion, I really do not think it's all that good, to be honest. There is some stuff that define realism in it. Another prime example would be, well, the first prime example of that would be Thomas and Spencer's chase. Like, Thomas is E2, right? And Spencer's class is far more faster than E2, so how does that make any sense? Second, I do not like how Hero is the first engine on Sodor. Like, that ruins the continuity of the lore, you know? If you have an established lore with a full fan base that would dedicate, well, not dedicate their life, but dedicate their creational ideas into that source material, then why would you make Hero the first engine on Sodor to retcon everything? That's just stupid. But besides all that problem, I really like the movie. I like Hero as a character. He is a very enjoyable character, and I can see why he's one of a fan favorite character in the CGI era. At least he's one of my favorite characters in the CGI era. Thomas, then hold on, let me see what that song is again. I done forgot. I can't believe that the name of the song is Go Go Thomas. Wow. Go Go Thomas is a okay song. Not on par with Thomas You're the Leader, but still it's a good song. I'm trying to think of another thing. I like how Spencer's the villain. I like that. What else? I'm trying to think of something else. That race scene in the film. Yeah, that was exciting. A little bit exciting. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. The CGI in this film looks good. Like the sunset and all that. Just wow. That film, man. That film. But other than that, it's a good way to introduce the nitrogen era of Thomas the Tank Engine, and I like it. Too bad it's not in 6th place.
Long live the king
of the railway.
Now I know this is gonna be stupid, but hear me out. King of the Railway is slightly better than Hero of the Rails. I know, that sounds stupid, but please hear me out on this. The reason why I put this above Hero of the Rails is because I just like it. I mean, Steven is a great character to introduce to us, and history is very fun to know. You know what I mean? Okay, no you don't. The point is, Steven is a very fun character and fits so well in the Thomas universe. And yes, I know he appeared in a railway series, but that doesn't matter. Steven is a nice character to be introduced. Millie seems all energetic and all that, and I'm glad to see what they did with her in the later seasons. I'm trying to think of something else. The Earl of Sodor, and seeing the Earl of Sodor getting reintroduced in the franchise is a nice touch in the film. Overall, I say this film is great. It's going to be a great day, and the rest of the songs that they played in the film is good. Did I forget to mention the bad stuff? Oh yeah, the bad stuff. Jack's redesign. Type of redesign is that? Okay, on to the top 5.
Welcome, Stanley!
This film is the true ending of Thomas the Tank Engine, and I will die on this hill. This Thomas film is just great. What can I say is great? The model and props is good, and it's a perfect representation on Sodor being at the end, but can still show more of what's there. Now, there's like three major problems about this film that I have. Number one is how Harold doesn't even notice the missing town, and there's a whole big open space that Harold can see in the sky to find the missing town. Another problem I have is, how should I put this in the most simplest words without pissing off any Thomas fans? It's Stanley. Like, if they did more with him, I wouldn't have a problem with him, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I really do have a problem with him, and this is one of my biggest problems with him. And the third thing, I don't know. I feel like that we just spend too much time with Thomas moping around. Even though I thought you guys wanted to relate to the characters. Besides all the negative stuff, I also love how they got Piers Brosnan as the narrator. I do not know how much money they had in the budget, but I gotta say, Hit Entertainment was cooking with this film. And I don't know, I just think this film is good, and I really see this as the true finale of Thomas the Tank Engine. Thomas, You're the Leader is a bop of a Thomas song. It has zero rights to be this good. Other than that, this film is what I would consider a masterpiece when it comes to Thomas the Tank Engine. And I highly recommend old and new fans to watch it. Because, boy, does this film have a lot to show. Man, this film is just heartwarming to me. Gator and Percy's dynamic is just wow. Thomas's voice actor was at the top of his game in this one, and James's cockiness being cranked up to 100, not even 100 to 200, is just, like I say, this film is just great. I like Cranky in this film. He was willing to literally break himself just to stop that ship. Thomas and Percy's friendship is actually has stakes in this film. Oh my god, I love this film. The reintroduction of Bill and Ben, new characters like Marion and Timothy were brought into the film. I mean, like, wow. Timothy is an off-brand version of Boko, and I would die on that hill with that statement. Trying to figure something else. Oh yeah. The crash with James going inside that ditch. Well, I'm gonna look up and see what type of thing that is. Yeah, so it turns out it was a pond. This is how stupid I am. But other than that, this film is really good, and I highly recommend Thomas fans to watch it. It will tear you up. At least it did for me. Wait, then why isn't it in the top 3? Now, which one is gonna be in 3rd place? And which one's gonna be in 2nd place? And which one is gonna be the best of them all? The superior. Now, you gonna be mad? Or you're gonna be really mad? The movie in number 3 in my ranking is V's Free. Now, I'm going to give my opinion on why I believe these 3 to be the best Thomas films of all time. Starting with the first one. Blue Mountain Mystery is a great Thomas film. And I'm just going to get everything out the way with basically everything that's great about it. Number 1 is definitely the reintroduction of the narrow gauge engines. They finally fixed Scarlowi's personality that he had during the hit era. No longer he is the wimpy, idiotic child. He finally is back to how he was in Fruit Season 4. And the bonus is that they gave him a deep man voice to go with that persona. Like, that was good. And I'm trying to think of some more stuff. Luke is a nice character to have in the film. And I actually found him entertaining. And I like what they did with him during the Brenner era too. That's pretty nice. Luke's backstory is kind of sad if you look through his perspective. Luke thought that he murdered an engine, and he is going to hiding after his consequences, and he is afraid. And most of the scenes, you can see how afraid and terrified he is. Another thing I like about it is Paxton. They actually gave him a personality unique to his own. I like that. The Blue Mountain Mystery song and Working Together are very catchy. I love it. I like how Thomas is the viewer of everything that's going on, and he's trying to unlock the mysteries and clues to what's going on. And I like what they did with Victor. They expanded more on his character. They gave him an actual, how should I put this in the most delicate words possible? They expanded more on his character and his backstory. And I cannot praise this film more for that. This film is just great and an all-around fun time experience for my eyes. And just wow, man. This film is just great. I like it. And I heard some nitpicks about how it seems out of character for the narrow gauge engines to just leave Thomas like that and not hear what he has to say. But I mean, come on. He broke their trust for the right reasons, but listen. People get mad. People act irrational when they get angry. If you don't believe me, a prime example is your family. Exactly. But other than that, the film is great. I love it. It deserves a solid 10 out of 10 when it comes down to Thomas films. And the fact that Andrew Brenner was the editor for the script in this film is just great. Because let's be honest, if Andrew Brenner hadn't edited out the parts that need to be fixed in the script, the film would have been terrible. Let's be real for a moment. Other than that, this film is, like I said, a 10 out of 10 when it comes down to Thomas films. And I highly advise old and new Thomas fans to watch it. Now let's go on to the next one. Sodor's The Legend of the Lost Treasure is a movie I hate and love. I'm just joking. I hate this movie for how good it is. I mean, come on. We get to see so many returning characters. The Arlesdale engines, Donald and Douglas, the rest of the crew, the rest of the pack crew. I mean, come on. Just this film is fan service galore. And we got some new characters like Skiff, Ryan, and Sailor John, who was voiced by John Hurt. This movie is just all the best. We get to see the parallels. A prime example would be how Thomas earned his number 1 in The Avenger Begins and lose it in this film. This film is just filled to the brim with so much more. It took some lore and history straight from the Island Sodor book. I mean, this film is just... I'm telling you, we Thomas fans were eating good back then in 2015. I mean, come on. This film is everything I want out of a Thomas film. They have a whole orchestral score playing in this film. I like Ryan as a character. I do not know why do y'all hate Ryan in this. I found him as a good character. Skiff is also a good character, and I'm glad to see him. How should I put this? I'm glad to see him happy at the end of the film. Like, come on. There are some nitpicks that I have with this film, like how Daisy kind of showed up out of nowhere at the end. But hey, at this point, let's be honest. They did her good in the seasons later on. I'm trying to figure some more stuff about this film that I like. Oh yeah, I think I know another thing that I like about this film. I also like how... I'm trying to figure out the word. The songs in this film are good. Never Overlook a Little Engine is definitely the standout. From my eyes, at least. Trying to figure out some more stuff. I don't know. This film is just a good time, and I extremely like it. This film is definitely the most cinematic out of the three that I'm listening right now. But all I gotta say is, this film is just great and amazing, and I advise Thomas fans of all to watch it, cause man, this film is just great. On to the last one. The one I actually consider putting in number 1. Thomas and Friends, The Adventure Begins is my number 1 movie on this list. Because this movie brought me back to make me feel like a 1-year-old again. This film is what made me realize how much I love this silly little blue tank engine and his friends. Sure, there are some problems with the film, which mainly you guys are really nitpicky about, which is Henry's old shape, and how he's shown in this film, but I don't see it as a big deal. The good stuff in this film that I like is everything. They took writings from the books and put it in the film. They managed to make one big old film out of 2 books. Yes, I say 2 because I'm including the flashback about Henry being hiding in a tunnel because of some stupid rain. But that's not the point. This film is everything I love about the franchise. I really love this film, and this film defined everything. I like how Thomas is portrayed in this film. Sure, he's not how he is in the books, but like I said, it's how it impacts you that makes the film good. And I like how they made James Black like he was in the Railway series books. I like the chase scene because it really proves how Thomas really earns his branch line. Unlucky Tug said in his video that he earned his branch line for working there for a week. No, he earned it by rushing to save a runaway James. And if you look closely, he was literally about to wear himself out just to save a friend in need. I like Thomas and Edward's dynamic in here. It's more explored than it was in the TV series and the books. I just like how they use the old music from the show to use in the movie. It's just amazing. I like how they reference the old coffee pot engines. I don't know, man. This film really just hits me in the feels, you know? Everything in this film is just amazing. And I'm proud to call myself a Thomas fan thanks to this film. I like how they explain how Thomas Guinness #1. I love everything about this film, just perfectly. Everything here is amazing and just perfect for a Thomas film. And I'm proud to put this in my #1 ranking list. Out of all of these 14 movies, I gotta say, only 6 of them were really good to me. I had a fun time rewatching all of these, especially, The Great Discovery, Blue Mountain Mystery, those films. But I really gotta say, I had a fun time going back to these films, because these films really show how exciting this fandom is banding together to see what the next installment is. Whether the films are good or not, they really did set up for what's to come for the future of this fandom. Yes, and I'm aware that 4 years ago it was announced that there was going to be a live-action Thomas film. There hasn't been any, teaser or trailers yet about the film, but to be honest, I have high hopes for the film. Seeing how Mattel did with the Barbie movie and seeing how much it made in the box office, I have high hopes for the live-action Thomas film. Before you go, I like to give some announcements. The Project D10 stuff isn't finished. The short film is finished, actually. So, I'll make sure to release a teaser for it later. And I'd like to give some more announcements. I decided that it's time for me to finally adapt the Scarloey stories onto this channel. I'm not sure whether it's going to be TV series accurate or railway series accurate, but I know one thing. You guys are going to see a lot of little engines. A lot. And I'm trying to figure out some more stuff I like to say. How Customs came to be. Dang, I was trying to say Train Mania 19 series. How Customs came to be episode 3 is still in development. I'm not giving you any updates on who it's gonna be, but I hope that video gets a lot of views. But it's time for all you guys to go home, just like Thomas.